Welcome, welcome, everyone. Many, many blessings and happy full moon. Akasha here, nanakasha.com, and I'm very excited to be with you on this exquisite full moon. I was out walking underneath it, and I'm last night, and it was gorgeous. I could see the rabbit in the moon, and I could see all of the light coming down on us. I couldn't come back. I kept walking around this park. I'm in Miami, and I came up here for 4 days by myself to write, meditate, go deep. After the last equinox, every equinox retreat that we do, it's become so epic that within weeks before and weeks after, it's like leaving the planet, going to another dimension, becoming a new person, and then coming back to the planet like an alien. And so, in a good way. So integrating is really important. And so I decided to come up to Miami because for me, the energies here, if you've ever done, hello, Erica from Arizona. Hi, Carrie, Susie, Elaine, everybody. Yeah, if you've ever done I lost track of my mind. Anyway, the full moon is incredible. And so, if you've ever done an astrocartography reading, they cross your astrology chart with a map and tell you what places on the planet, what the energies are like for you. Well, I wished I'd known about this when I was a child, and I wish that I think it's something we should all know, because if you've ever been somewhere where you feel really good, or you ever been somewhere you don't feel good, and maybe you don't know why, it isn't because the people you're with, it could be because of the place you're at. Remember, Gaia, the planet, the earth, she's a living being, and she's got all kinds of energy coming out of her all the time. Of course, we've got scientists and scans, and we know that there's vortexes and latitudes and longitudes and magnetic fields and the magnetic poles and all these things. Well, if you think about it, you're the same way. Your body is emitting all kinds of energies. It has all kinds of channels going through it. It's got blood and fluids, just like she's got oil and other fluids lubricating her body. And so we really want to pay attention to where we feel good. And so when I had my astrocartography reading done about 5 years ago, maybe 5.5 years ago, it was incredibly enlightening. And I discovered that where I'd been living, I knew I didn't feel good there, but was not good energy for me at all. And so really look into it. The lady that I hired was almost $500, but I think you can go online. You might even find a software you can plunk your birthday in and your birth time, and it will give you an idea of where energies are good for you. So that's the reason I'm in Miami. Is at the time I was wanting to move to San Diego, and I asked, she got on the phone to give me the reading results, and she said, "Are you sure you don't want to go to Florida?" And at the time, of course, I wasn't ready and willing to listen to that. I had my plans. I knew what I wanted to do. And she said, "Well, I'm not going to tell you not to go. I'm going to tell you what it's like. But I will tell you that in Florida, the energies are happy and easy and wealthy and flowing and beachy." And I didn't listen. So it's okay. San Diego was very, very wonderful, and it was a hell of a lesson. But when I went back and looked at the reading as I was exiting San Diego 3 years later, I saw things that I didn't quite hear from her. That was like, well, it's not necessarily going to be easy, but it is stepping into your purpose in a higher level. So, of course, everywhere you go, please let go of the idea that you've made a mistake, okay? Please let go of the idea that you made the wrong decision and then burden yourself with guilt. One of the biggest things we have to do is unburden ourselves with guilt. So today in our full moon journey to the place of the sixth dimension, we're going to enlist the moon goddess, Chel. We'll talk a little bit more about her in a moment. If you're not familiar, she's a Mayan goddess. She's probably one of the premier Mayan goddesses. And she was not just here I'm not in Mexico right now, in the Yucatan. She was also over near Mexico City, which is where our next Bliss Life retreat is going to be. Very exciting. We started the Bliss Life retreats 2.5 years ago. We just completed number 5. They've become more and more epic, more and more magical, more and more stunning. I did a podcast a few weeks ago sharing with you some of the manifestations that we saw. And I'm going to do a couple shorter ones just to really zone in so you can get them. But let me just let you know that one of the things that happened is our crystals, our wands, our jewelry that was made from real stone, whether it was old, been around a long time, or we just got them, they began to change before our very eyes, continue to do so to this moment. And I have consulted our crystal expert in Arkansas, who we're going to do a workshop with and some crystal grids with in July when we go there for the Light Body workshop. And he said he's never heard of that. And so that to me was even more confirmation that what we're doing is truly advanced. We have increased our vibration. And when we come together as a group, the very first one of the ladies that came kept saying, "This is so epic. This is so epic." And it kind of stuck. So they've become the epic equinox events. And this time it's become, we're explorers. We are the equinox explorers. And the group has become a soul family. We communicate in between. We support each other. And I would love to invite you to join us. So this is a beautiful image that my beloved Donna put together for us. This is Teotihuacan. If you haven't heard of it, it is a very famous site north of Mexico City, so a little bit central in Mexico. And it is a very powerful site. It is enormous. It has the largest pyramids, whereas we've been going to Koba, which is the tallest Mayan pyramid. This one is also fascinating because it's ancient and nobody actually knows who built it. The energies here are very alien without being sci-fi or weird. They have a transcendent quality, but not like Kaaba, where we went for our activation where the crystals changed, but it's a transcendent energy in the sense that it's very off this world. Now we're going to be going, my beloved partner Chris and I are going to be going there in a couple of weeks, and we're going to be going with our friend and Aztec ceremonial leader Christian, who did our jaguar ceremony, does a lot of our cacao ceremonies, and this time I've enlisted him and his family, who is the Aztec family that lives near Teotihuacan, is the 5th longest family that has lived in this area. And his father is the president of the United Indigenous Nations Elders. He has special access to these places. He has special wisdom. He's over 80 years old. And we may get permission to even go under one of these pyramids, and we are going to go above it. So the theme today in our full moon and the theme for our retreat in the equinox, and we really go between the equinoxes now. And I want you to invite you to do the same thing, whether you're going to join us or not. Really watch your life with a cycle. If you look between now and September, what's your focus? What are the energies? What shifted for you in the last equinox? So this is a fun day because today is the day of the first full moon after the equinox in March. And why is that a big deal? Because the equinox in March was a full moon. It was the equinox, which is the perfect balance between the worlds, right? It's equal day and night, and it gives us that space to feel in balance, to have less attachment to the past, to be able to walk between the worlds, to find the balance within us of above and below. What does that mean? Well, you're a spiritual being, but you're a physical body. So those are a balance between duality or polarities or opposites. It gives you an opportunity to dive into your feminine energy and your masculine energy and blend them. And we did a lot of that work. So what we do is we go to these sites, we activate within ourselves ancient memories, we release it, we learn chants. Everything's about raising our vibration. And this time we're going to be driven around in our van and chariot by one of this beautiful Aztec family. We're going to be gifted with opportunity to hear the wisdom, and we're going to be doing our sacred ceremonies at the sites. Today, what I want you to do is think about Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent, the idea in Mayan, Aztec, Toltec, almost all of the ancient civilizations here in Mesoamerica revered the serpent or the snake. They didn't look at it as evil as the Europeans did. They saw and respected its wisdom to live on the earth, to have the power to balance its own energies, to have the wisdom to shed its skin voluntarily and grow, right? Because this is what we really need to do, and this is what's happening right now. So if you're having breakdowns or breakthroughs in your life, or you're watching the world have breakdowns or breakthroughs in any area, we're going to see it all across the board. And it's been predicted for a very long time. And definitely from my mentors for over 25 years have been telling me that this is the moment we're going to see this wide gap in polarities. We're going to see people going more to the light or more to the dark, more into the fear, or making that choice to turn and put our face up to that beautiful moon, up to the illumination, up through our third eye, through our crown, up to the higher self that we are. And remember that no matter what is happening around us in the physical world, right now is the moment of transformation, metamorphosis, and change. You can't avoid it. You can pretend that it's not there. You could try to keep moving forward. But if you accept, we are here on purpose. We're the co-creators of this moment. And guess what? We get to decide what the new world's going to be like. So instead of choosing the fear or allowing the fear of other people in your life, even the loved ones that are close to you, if they are in fear, give them love and then give yourself space. Get out of the stream of fear, panic, what if, there's not enough, terrible things are happening, this isn't fair, those people are doing that. Yes, we are seeing horrific things, but guess what? They were always there. We are literally still coming out of the dark ages. We are just now raising our consciousness high enough to turn around and see, what in the hell are we doing treating animals like this, or land like this, or water like this, or each other like this, or children like this, or women like this? Okay? We are seeing the birth of a new level of consciousness, and it's weird. It means shit's falling apart. Nothing makes sense. The way we used to make money, the way we used to follow rules, the way we used to plan our life, none of it is working anymore. And when you have a chance with a full moon like this, accept the illumination, the light, the beauty that this energy is shining into your heart, into your mind, and let it show you those dark corners. Don't be afraid of who you are, who you were, what you're afraid of, what you've done, what you haven't done. Let the baggage go. Years ago, I went to a retreat that really influenced and inspired me. It's one of the reasons I do my retreats whenever possible in a house. I love the environment. If I can do it in my house, it's the best, because I'm doing energy work there all the day. It's like walking into a magical land. I have all of my crystals and things there. If I can do it in a different house, like in Arkansas, in July, we come in, I rent a house and we stay there. And if we need a second house, like this time, we rent that and people stay there too. But we do all of our work in the house, and there's this beauty in it. There's this hominess in it, right? There's this environment that we can be in, the trees by the lake or whatever it is. And when I went to this retreat in Florida years ago, it was in a beach house, excuse me, in Florida. And the impact that it had on me, that we could come together in a way that allowed us to see and share and cocoon together, to get out of your ordinary world and leave your life, your routine. Don't get up in the same bed, make your breakfast the same way, drive the same way to work, take your kids to same school at the same time. Here's the key to manifesting something new, to freeing your mind and your heart and your energy to go to a higher level, to see new solutions, to follow your heart, to understand how to walk through this uncertainty that's happening right now. So I was so moved by being able to be in that environment with loving people and other people who are willing to let go, to break down, to be vulnerable, to say, here's where I'm confused in my life. Here's where I'm still carrying guilt about who I am. Here's where my fears are. And here's what I really want. And then together we peel those layers away. So the beauty of living your life in any way, I really want to invite you to come to one of our Light Body retreats, to come to the Bliss Life retreat, to go somewhere and break your routine as frequently as you can. If it's once a month or every 3 months, or at the very worst, once a year. Even if you have to drive down to the local park and walk a path you've never walked before by yourself, listening to music you've never listened to. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, good. Now, I don't mean go make yourself unsafe. So listen, okay, but don't be silly. However, that's the beauty of finding a tribe of people that you can transform with, because they're all breaking down and transforming too. So let's take a look at what's going to come through. Now, what's going to be cool about today is that we're going to travel with Chel, with the full moon, to the place of the sixth dimension. What does that mean? If you've been doing energy work or different meditation work for a while, you may have heard of the idea of dimensions. You know that you're a multidimensional being, I hope by now. I mean, you know that you have a mind or a mental body, but you can't touch it. It's not your brain. Your brain is like the car that the mind works through, right? So you have this, and you could be in your head. You could be far away. You could be not even hearing people around you. People could be saying, hey, hello, hello. And you could be so far away in your head. That means you're in another dimension. You have focused your awareness, your consciousness, your highest self, your divine being that you are, over into your mental body. So you have a mind and a mental body. You have an emotional body, okay? And you actually came down as a descended God through a lot of layers into this density as a co-creator. So it doesn't matter if you understand all that. If you want to understand that, come and talk to me. Join Light Body School. We'll teach you all about it. The thing I want you to get is that when you walk to a place that makes you feel a certain way, pay attention. I love it when I walk by this park. I love this particular tree. Last night I was talking to trees and heart weaving with trees and standing in a line of trees as one of them. And my hair was raising up like branches and felt like it was reaching up to the full moon. And my root chakra was reaching down along with the roots of all the trees. And together we were touching and we were reaching and we were grounded deep into the earth and connected to her love and her pulse. And we were reaching way up and touching the moon and the sky and the clouds and the stars. And I began to ask the trees, how is it you can just stand in one place? That would scare me. I've never felt safe being fully present in my body until the last 5 to 10 years. I've never felt safe fully grounding myself. I like movement. I like to move. I like to not feel stuck. I don't like tight clothing on. There's something from my other lives, from my soul blueprint that I brought with me that says, oh, movement. And I have such deep respect for trees, and I've spent much, much time, especially in the early days, about 30 years ago, when I first began to meditate, when I first began to question, there must be something else. How do I create my reality? What's underneath that? When I didn't understand reincarnation or energy or any of this, I just kept seeking. I kept saying, what else is there? So keep asking positive, empowering questions. Show me the way. I know there's another solution. Open my heart, open my mind. Let Chel and the full moon come and open that. So knowing that we are multidimensional beings, it's very similar to music, and I am not musical. I do not teach music, and I know that the musical scale is similar. It's a frequency, it's a vibration, right? And you go up, but in each level, there's not just one level and you go to the next level. There's many levels, like stairs or octaves or something, right? in each level. And then when you get to the top of that one, pop, it goes through to the next level. Well, if you compare that to quantum physics, if you like to geek out on the science part of it like I do, so I satisfy the part of me that needs a little bit of research. I don't need the proof anymore because I have had so many personal and so many client and so many student experiences of miracles of manifesting it literally in front of my eyes and watching a body transform, gangrene reversing, bruises and swelling and broken things reversing. I've seen magic happen to people forgetting pain, and it's just, it goes on and on and on. So I don't need the proof, but I still love to read how science is catching up and proving it. And in the quantum field, you see, I'm probably using the wrong word, but like an atom or a neutron or proton, like a little tiny particle, they'll watch it and it starts to go faster. What is that? It's raising its frequency. It's raising its state. It's going from guilt or shame, all right, to anger, or it's going from grief and regret to willingness. And all of those are just raising to a new dimension or a new state. And the faster it goes, suddenly it disappears. They literally watch this, right? And it disappears and it appears outside of the world it lived in. It appears on the other side of the cell or the atom. And that means it has raised its frequency and jumped, quantum leaped to a new dimension, and then remanifested. So it turned into a wave of energy and then back into a particle. This is what you do all the time. When you're happy and you're blissed out and you're just skipping down the road and you're like, life is so awesome, you are in a high state of frequency. You're up there past acceptance in love or joy or bliss or something like that. And then you could be all of a sudden run into somebody and they could say something, or you could get some news, or you could talk to somebody like your family that triggers certain emotions in you of not being good enough or whatever patterns or beliefs you carry. And boom, all of a sudden you drop down to a different dimension, don't you? And maybe you're feeling punched in the stomach or full of fear or guilt or shame. Now, this is how I used to live my life, and it's one of the reasons that I searched so long to be able to master my emotions, master my mind, and create my reality on purpose. So I want you to understand that you can shift dimensions. And one of the things we're doing right now on this planet is healing and releasing all of this anger, all this blame, all this judgment, all this horrific hate and violence that we're seeing, all this greed that's becoming visible. This is the time of transparency, because as we raise our frequency, we're going to be able to read each other's thoughts, okay? So you can't walk around with polluted mind. You've got to get control of it. And we're watching leaders in the world have incredibly polluted minds, out of integrity, lack of love, complete greed and self-centeredness. And here's the thing, you don't have to fix it. You don't have to feel afraid of it, because it is inspiring the other end of the polarity to attract. The two ends of the polarity are going to grow. And don't worry, we're going to burst through into the golden age. We're on the cusp of it. We're creating it already right now. One of the things we saw in our crystals was gold. Gold, literal shining gold, the gold ray, the gold light that we brought in, the 12th ray, begin to manifest in our crystals. And so we're going in September here because we've prepared through our retreats, through our personal work, through along with everyone else on the planet doing their work, right? People doing meditation, people doing their inner work to free themselves from pain, people like the Dalai Lama, all of the people that are working on the higher frequency. We've made a huge breakthrough. So the last full moon was not just a super moon. It was not just a full moon. It was not just the equinox. It was a prophesized moment when we got a download, and we know that download happened. There's a lot of leaders, light leaders, that are talking about it right now. What does that mean? That means that we've been given a whole new energy we can integrate. So we have between now and September to integrate that energy that we've given. And the vision I've been shown of Teotihuacan is we're going here to go above and below, to open a new portal for yet another new wave of energy to come. Why do we want that? Why does it matter? Because the more higher frequency, that's love, bliss, enlightenment, peace, right? that we bring onto the planet, the easier it is for people in fear, the people who aren't yet aware that their consciousness and working on it, the easier it is for them to awaken and to let go. And we all have to come together, and we're doing it for Gaia too, and we're doing it for all life form. Everything in form is conscious energy. So love your coffee cup, love your plants, love everything, including yourself. All right, so let's take a look. This is Teotihuacan from above, and you can see there's two pyramids. One's the sun, one's the moon. What does that mean? One is the female energy, one is the male energy. Give me a second here. And when we go to this site, the reason that this is called the place of the sixth dimension, this is not something you're going to go Google. This is not something that a guide or a tourist trip is going to give you. We do not go to these sites as tourists, and yet you get to see them as tourists. So the first retreat, one lady came up to me and she said, "Thank you. This is the most amazing retreat I've ever been to, because I get to do my spiritual work. I get special access to these sites that I can't even imagine. I get to do these ceremonies. You already know where to take us for fantastic food. And I get these people, but I also get to be a tourist. I get to take my pictures. I get to have a little bit of time to look around and see what I like. And I feel very fulfilled when I go home." So the thing is that we're going here because this site has called us. We're going here because the elder that I told you about, Christian's father, who is going to come with us on a couple different days, and we've put in our requests for special access to go under one or maybe both of these pyramids. Yes, that is something. That is not something that tourists get to do, but this is what we look to do. So the way in which I take you there is the key. And what we're going to do is, before we enter the site, we're going to do a hot air balloon ride over it. And we're going to bring a special blend of smudge and herbs that we're going to create. And we're going to come with Christian, our Aztec shaman type of guy. And we're going to do an opening, a blessing, a very powerful blessing at dawn as we fly over the site. I'm almost in tears right now. This is going to be so incredible. And when we do that, remember, we have to remember every time the polarities, the dualities. When you're in form, you must pull from them both if you want to manifest. Otherwise, you're out of balance. So the above and the below. We will be above in the balloon, and we will go below in the pyramids. So we're going to do activation and ceremony in both of those places. And before we even enter the site, we're going to open the portal to the sixth dimension. It's already here. So Christian's father, Guadalupe, he calls this is what Christian told me over a conversation at breakfast a month or so ago, is he said, well, my father calls it the place of the sixth dimension. And I just started to vibrate, and I looked at him and said, what? And he said, yeah, he's been going there. And the story is a little bit like the Mexican government took over these sites, and they regulate them and preserve them to a degree. But they don't let the Mayans and the Aztecs and the original indigenous people here have access to them. And occasionally that's unacceptable, because they say, this is my family's place. So he kept bugging them long enough. They finally said, fine, do whatever you want. And he's been able to come and go places that other people can't, and they just let him be here. So we're talking about being able to go, right, to a place where an Aztec elder who's tuned into the indigenous wisdom, and you know that they're all talking to each other now. You know, the elders are getting together. The wisdom is awakening. The time of the indigenous wisdom is coming back to the forefront, and we are realizing that we can no longer keep living in the world without preserving it and understanding the ancient wisdom of connection, as well as these places were all built based on Atlantis and the wisdom that they had. What does that mean? That means blending the heart and the mind, being able to take the wisdom and knowledge of how to work with crystals, how to work with energy, how to work with the sun and the moon, how to manifest without laboring to build these things with hands. You can't build these pyramids now. They don't have the technology to recreate these, not the ones in Egypt, not the ones here. They're built aligned to celestial things. They're built within such perfection in alignment that there's, even with our equipment, we couldn't do it. And don't believe for a minute that they had a bunch of slaves piling stuff on top of each other. There's no way. The carvings, they can tell now, were done with some kind of laser. And they had technology because they understood. They connected. They knew their truth. They still knew they were a divine being, but they were in a body. So this is what we're doing. We're connecting our heart and our mind. And at every one of our retreats, we've done that. What we're going to do today is do a guided journey to Teotihuacan and then rise up and see what it's like to enter the sixth dimension. So welcome everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Akasha or Nan Akasha. My main website's nanakasha.com. BlissLifeRetreats.com is where you check out these retreats. Light Body School or lightbodyschool.com/Crystal Lake is where you see other stuff. Just ask me. This is a picture of me at the recent retreat at the manifestation matrix wall at the top of the Great Pyramid in Uxmal. You can see the magical symbols behind me. They're all about how to manifest into this world. We activated these not just on the pyramid, but inside of us and our third eye, and we are now carrying that with us. This was the day that if you saw the video of the so-called tornado at Chichen Itza, that was Kukulkan, or the feathered serpent, the wisdom, the knowledge, the enlightened being coming back to the planet. This was the prophecy that has been going on for a long time, and we actually helped to manifest it. So the epic equinox fall vision quest is going to be called the Metamorphosis of the Heart. And the reason is you see in the middle, there's Teotihuacan, there's the balloon we're going to be flying over in, and these beautiful and amazing Atlantean butterfly guardians here on the sides are at a different site we're going to go to called Tula. They stand, and the butterfly on their chest is the key to our metamorphosis of the heart. We are going to do some very deep work in the heart. On the back of the heart is a sun spiral. So between the sun, right, we have the feminine and the masculine, and it's going to literally melt your heart. The Aztecs then took that butterfly, revered these Atlanteans so much that they copied the butterfly for their chest, and they also repeated it on their third eye. So the metamorphosis at every retreat is very palpable. This time it's literally one of our goals. It's going to be epic. So we're not just going to be at Teotihuacan. We're going to go to, 4, 5, 6 different sites. We are going to this powerful and sacred site of Teotihuacan because many cultures over time have revered and respected it, and they call it the place where the men become gods or where the gods live. And that's what Teotihuacan means. Now, what's interesting is that the Aztecs did not build it, the Toltecs did not build it. They don't really know who built it. However, many cultures came wave after wave, century after century. They found it. They recognized that the land and the site were sacred, and they had such respect for it that they built their sites next to it and around it and lived near it, but they didn't live on it. So it is such an amazing space for us to go to, again, return as the newest civilization that is respecting and revering this as the portal and the place where we go to remember we are gods, to remember that we are manifestors, to remember and reactivate the knowing within us. And what happens when we do this for us? We give permission. A wave goes out through the whole planet to the people struggling in poverty, struggling in abusive relationships, struggling to figure out who they are, struggling to be happy. Anything that we do, the beauty is we gift it to the planet. So why is this moment and place so vital right now for you and for all of us? Because it is finally time for you to fully remember that you are divine and you are ready to break free from the limits imposed on you to keep you from that realization. What does that mean? Well, the reality is that all kinds of structures that have been in place for so long that we don't even question them are put in place to keep us in a certain place. So in America, our school system is built on the German school system, which was designed when factories didn't have enough workers. They decided nobody had organized schools, but they were like, we need more workers and we need them to be smart enough to function, but not too smart to realize they don't want to be working in a factory. And so they built schools for children of the factory workers to basically raise factory workers, like a little slave farm. And then we copied that system. And over the years, we've seen, changes and whatever. However, the reality is, at least in America, we've seen the creativity taken out. Oh, math and science is the only thing that's important. We can't have music. We can't have art. We can't have this. We can't have that. Well, the more we do that, the less you're joyful, the less you can raise your own vibration, the less you find your own heart. The other way that you're constantly controlled is by the media. Please don't watch it. Please unplug. Okay, please, for God's sakes, don't watch the news. Most of it's manufactured. Okay, I know I tell people I haven't watched the news in 30 years or something, and they just go, but I have to know something. Why? If you're creating your own reality and you're trying to create a world that is not full of all this shit that's going on, and here's the thing, remember, the media is taking a few negative events and then that's all they talk about. If they actually spread the so-called bad news out across the world in the reality of the good news, it would be a very tiny part. But this is one thing to keep you in stress and in anxiety and constantly feeling like you don't have enough. Another thing is the media telling you what you have to have. You need to have big boobs and skinny waist. You need to have this big house. You need to have a new toaster. You need to have a big screen TV. You need to have 10 cars. You need to have a job with a big status. You need to have a big bank account. You need to plan everything. You can't go on vacation because you haven't planned everything. You can't do anything because you have a little bit of debt. You can't do anything because your kids are in school and you shouldn't move them and take them out of school for 5 seconds. On and on and on and on. Okay? And if I'm poking your buttons and making you uncomfortable, I'm glad. Because I'm here to stir this shit up. I don't want to see a bunch of sheeple anymore. I want you waking up and saying, wait a minute, I'm in control of my life. I create my life, and I'm here to be a creator of the new reality. A new reality doesn't say I have to go to a job that they decide my pay, and they decide my hours, and they decide where I sit, and I sit in a little cubicle, or I don't get to a job that I hate, makes me throw up every day. I actually had a client who did that. Her job was so offensive to her energy being in her soul, she would vomit 3 times a day, physically vomit from the minute she started, and she kept going. This is how strong we are. Think about the strength that you put in place to keep pleasing other people or keep obligations that don't serve you anymore, instead of saying, look, we need to rework this. I'm sorry. I know that I used to do this and this for you, but I can't do it anymore. And then we've all been told to feel guilty if we want more, to feel guilty if we think the world revolves around us, to feel guilty. Who are you to think you get what you want? Who are you to be happy? I've been a very happy person naturally. And I literally from day one heard, why are you so happy? It pisses people off. And here's what's even worse. When something so-called bad or negative is happening in your life and you're happy during it, it really pisses people off. It pisses off your family. It pisses off all kinds of people. In fact, I've seen families refuse help to people who are struggling financially in their family because that person isn't behaving appropriately depressed or isn't following one of their rules. This is what we call conditional love, okay? And this is what we're breaking free from. So if you want to just focus on one thing, focus on unconditional love. Where are you judging and limiting your love for yourself, your acceptance for yourself, your forgiveness for yourself? Where are you not allowing yourself to just be who you are? Because if you go deeper and deeper, you're going to find those little attachments. Somebody said this, and so I hide my profile, or somebody said this, and so I never believe my body is good enough. You were designed exactly the way you are for a reason. If you let go of trying to fit in, trying to be good enough, trying to make everybody happy, and you simply send love to everybody, but you start going deep inside and saying, okay, why was I designed this way? Why do I need to travel? Why do I need space? Why can't I stand to be trapped? Why can't I stay at a job? Why do I want to work for myself, instead of making it something bad because somebody in your life or society or your culture or your job or something is telling you that's not okay? Why not say, let me just move all those voices out and listen to the one authority within me? And what if I trusted it? And what if I took a step that way? And what if I decided that I'm going to be happy every day, regardless of what's happening? Now you're getting it. So when you fully remember you're divine, because in the beginning, I couldn't even say I loved myself. So there's no way I would have believed I'm divine. Oh, you're a god. Oh, yeah, right. Well, I don't really believe I'm a god because my family told me I'm this and I'm that and I'm not this, and I have to have a better body and I have to make more money and I have to have this and I have to have that. So if you are like a lot of the people in my world, breaking free already, letting the breakdowns and breakthroughs happen, leaving your old life, traveling around, seeing what's there, congratulations and welcome. And I honor you and I respect you. Keep going. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, because you and me and everybody is here because we're ready to break free from these limits, okay? And the realization and the true metamorphosis is when you don't need anything to make you feel good about who you are. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a bank account. I'll be honest with you. I went through a divorce about, I don't know, 7 years ago now or something. I lost everything. I had owned 80 units as properties. I had $1 million home. I had artwork. I had savings. I had investments. I had all the stuff you were told you were supposed to have. And if you have them, honor them, respect them, and save them and keep them. Don't give them away, okay? Unless you feel they burden you. Unless they go and it's not something you can stop, then that means they're meant to go. And I carried so much guilt when I went through my divorce and my bankruptcy and I lost everything and I didn't know how to feed my kids and I was disowned by my mother and I had nobody to turn to. But guess what? That was true financial freedom. Now, I'm not telling you go through that. However, if you are going through a breakdown, respect that it's a breakthrough and that breakdown is guided by your heart. And if you look within, you could find a way through it that's blessed and beloved. And now I'm happier than I've ever been. And I don't have millions of dollars and I don't have big savings accounts and I don't have stocks and bonds and artwork. I don't even own a house anymore. And it isn't because that's a bad thing, but that's what happened. And what gave me freedom was to redefine who I am and what makes me good enough. Just being me. And unhooking from the good opinion of others and unhooking from what everybody else thinks is best and listening to my guidance even when it doesn't make sense, which is why I'm in Miami. First I was like, I'm supposed to go to Miami. Why am I going to Miami? Can I just stay here in Mexico? No, go to Miami. I don't know why. Well, believe me, I know why now. I was here. I arrived in the afternoon on Wednesday. And I spent all day yesterday. I got this little Airbnb. It's a tiny little cute little apartment. It's got its own entrance. It's attached to these people's house. The lady was bringing me pineapple blended drinks by the pool, offering me her homemade black beans and rice. The gifts, I understood that when I listen and I don't push, I push when I know it's meant to happen. I stop when it feels forced. I reconnect to the inspiration. I double check. I'm supposed to do this. I don't need to know why. And I do it because I know the magic doors open. And last night under the full moon at this park down the street, I went for a walk and I had a massive healing. I had an inner child healing. For some bizarre reason, I ended up in this neighborhood of Miami. I'm nowhere near the beach. I'm not going shopping. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving this place. I'm just going to going for walks and sitting by the pool and writing. Yesterday, I wrote so much my hand hurts. I downloaded hours worth of content in just massive download. And last night, I realized this reminded me of where I grew up as a child. And I'm walking around the park and I'm watching parents and their children and I'm going through this inner child transformation. And there I was. I ran up to myself. My little girl ran up to me and I got to hug her and tell her, you know what? You don't have to hide anymore. You can bring your butterfly ways out. My parents used to say, Nan and her butterfly ways. And it was adorable till I was 5 or 3 or something. And then they would criticize it. So reclaim the joy, the natural joy. So here's another, we're going to climb these things. We're going to go under them. We're going to fly over them. So I want you to tune into these pictures because this beautiful man, elder, who calls this the place of the sixth dimension, we are going to be entering with his guidance. And this is where we're going to go travel today. So it's not just that we're going to these sites, okay? You get that now? It is the way we're going. And that is what is unique and powerful. So in sacred ceremony, Christian is going to do a ceremony for us at one of the places or somewhere. I don't know where yet because we're going in May. We're going to work that out. We work in concert with the energies. These places call me months before. It was a year ago in September, actually, just before September, that it came through that we might be going here. Then people who came to the September retreat said something. Then Christian told me about being from there and being this family and all this stuff. And then he invited us. And it's following this thread. Now we have the sites, we have the dates, we have the people, and now when we go, it's going to start coming into place. And here's what's cool. The sooner you sign up to come, even if you just put a small deposit and you let me help you manifest the rest of the money or the time or the sport or whatever you need, you are energetically connected to this being created. And what I've noticed is every person who joins the retreat, your energy, your soul's path, what you need, it opens doors. So if you come and you happen to have a connection to Tula, let's say, you might create and align for us a different experience. So don't wait, okay? Because you're creating before you get here. Your transformation is from the minute you sign up. So we're going to go with the soul family activated to our highest frequency. So I bring in chants and light body healing, and I guide you through very deep transformative work, and we get crystals and different things that are all about raising our frequency, creating protection to our field, opening us to our highest optimal experience. So activated to our highest frequency, aligned heart and inner vision, and with the elder of the United Nations of Indigenous Elders who has lived there and gets special access for his whole life. Whoops. He calls it the place of the sixth dimension, and he spent his life there and knows the ancient wisdom and the ways of listening to the earth, the wind, the water, the pyramids. Just imagine the honor of being with wise and connected hearts. It just takes my breath away. So breathe this in again, place of the sixth dimension. When you see these digital photos, they capture actually the essence, the energy. So breathe this in, take it in through your eyes. Remember, when you look at beauty, when you look at something, you're taking that energy in, you're having a relationship through your eyes. Your brain really is the one that sees it. Take it in through your breath. Begin to feel. Now, this site wasn't just about the two big pyramids. There's all these pyramids in between. And one in particular has all the plumed serpent. It was an initiation chamber, center for the priests and for the priestesses, for the sacred learning. These were sacred centers. People didn't live at them, okay? All this nonsense of calling these places palaces and stuff, these were not palaces. None of these places, these were the sacred center where spiritual work was done, where people were initiated into the mysteries like we do in Light Body School and at these retreats, where people were activated to higher levels to remember, where people were challenged to move out of their comfort zone and to face their fears so that they could rise to the sixth dimension and beyond. This is Chel, and Chel is the Mayan goddess of the moon, of abundance, of creation, of awakened plumed serpent. She's shown here as the triple goddess, and on the right, holding the rabbit, that she's sitting in the crescent moon. She is the goddess of the crescent moon, the rabbit being what? You see the rabbit in the moon, right? And they saw the rabbit in the moon. So I saw it last night. You can see the shape of the rabbit. What is a rabbit? It represents abundance, fertility, right? And rabbits are actually the most commonly eaten. I know this sounds weird, but more other species eat rabbits than almost anything else. And this in the animal kingdom makes them highly revered, okay? Because they reproduce a lot of babies, right? That's abundant. They have the ability to create life. That's abundant. And they have the ability to feed life. So all other life can be abundant and reproduce and grow. That's abundance. They are a source of abundance. And therefore you can now today, as we go in and Chel guides us, to realize that she's bringing you abundance. On the other side, you see her as the crone, which means crowned one, by the way. The crone was not considered the hag and the evil, ugly old lady. That's after 400 years of witch hunts and all kinds of horror, Spanish Inquisition and other things of the Christian church to kill women, to blame women, to do all kinds of stuff. It's just a part of our history. You can decide what you want about it. Let's just move from that into understanding that the elder woman used to be revered. She was the healer. She was the wise one. And here, as the wise one, she has the traditional Mayan hair wound up, but not with ribbons, but with Kukulkan, with Quetzalcoatl, with the wise plumed serpent. So you see it is the serpent winding up. And as we see in Egypt, they have the snakes on the forehead. Those represent the awakened third eye. Those represent you having awakened your inner eye, your pituitary pineal, connected to your higher self, remembering that you're here in a body as a divine being manifesting into the world. So the serpent is awakening that eye to manifest into the physical world on purpose. And you see the plumes, you see the feathers. What does that mean? That means connecting to your highest self, connecting to spirit, connecting to that above. So all of the indigenous tribes where you see they have feathers on their head and beautiful headdresses, there's a lot of meaning behind it, okay? This is also, you see in every one of these depictions, she has a crown of some kind. So the crone wasn't only the crowned one, which means what? She awakened her crown chakra, she's connected, she's wise, she understands. But even in the middle, she is also the goddess of the rainbow. And you see that her crown is rainbow, and also with all the plumes and the feathers. In the center, she's holding a spindle because she also weaves. So she is like Spider-Woman in other traditions. She weaves the web of light from the moon to create the world that we live in. She pours the water as the crone from her womb. This is called womb water. So you always see her holding a pot, pouring this water from her womb. What is that? That's the very essence of creation. And you see it pouring down through the worlds and creating life. You see all the life down there, turtles and snakes and fish and crabs and all kinds of life coming from this. You even see life coming up out of the waters as the snake. So you see that the snake is also repeated as what she's standing on. The body goes across, turns around, and there's the two-headed snake. What does that represent? Well, we see this carved on a lot of the pyramids we go to. And this is Aztec, more in tradition, the two-headed snake showing you the two polarities, the duality. So there's above and below, there's lack and abundance. They're both two sides of the same coin. Today, we're going to allow the full moon to pour that abundance down on us and Chel to guide us. So we will meet and journey with the Mayan goddess of the moon, Chel, and the full moon's illumination energies. We will clear the way within you to walk amongst gods, to remember you are divine, and to see what is the next best step. So I don't know about you, but before I began to create and lead these epic transformational retreats, I would have been super intrigued that an elder who has lived at the sacred place and had special access for 80 years calls Teotihuacan the place of the sixth dimension. When Christian told me that, I almost dropped my coffee cup at breakfast and said, what? So let's go. We're going to awaken the sight's wisdom to align with your true purpose and experience a metamorphosis of the heart. This is us, our Equinox Explorers at the last retreat in front of the Temple of the Moon, the Pyramid of the Magician in Uxmal. I love this picture. Looks like we're transcending, and we did. We had epic stuff happen here. We've left some crystals behind. This is a few more images of Chel. She's depicted, like I showed you, as a maiden over here. These are numbers coming out of that ray of the moon. The moon last night really looked like this. The ray was coming down like a pathway to me. Below on the right-hand side is a very common image. You see the rabbit in front of her. She's holding the lotus, very similar to Kuan Yin. She has the snake, Kukulkan, on her head always. She's got the plumes, the higher self there. And above, we actually see a fresco I forget which site this is from. I've not seen this in person. And there she is, the rabbit. She's now back to back with the rabbit. Her and the rabbit are similar to the two-headed jaguar, showing us the duality that this, there on the rabbit side, there is, like we see over here, the crescent moon. And then she's holding that space with the plumes looking the other way to create the full moon, the two sides of abundance. This is just an example of some of the places we're going to be going at the next one. We're going to have a video ready next week for you. And we're going to a meteor crater. The thing about Chel is she's also the goddess of water. And we're going to be going where chalk, which we saw chalk rain god masks that were made by Mayans in the Yucatan. There's a Tlaloc, very similar Aztec god that's in most of these temples we're going to as well. So we're going to be working with the idea of the path to enlightenment through Quetzalcoatl transforming and shedding. We're going to be working with the Atlanteans with the butterfly heart metamorphosis and the sun, connection to the sun, balancing the energies. We're going to be working with Chel and the moon to allow this abundance. You see behind her again the spindle showing that she weaves. So this is an example of our groups. We go into these sites, having amazing experiences. So let's just take a quick look at these sites. Again, I want you to be pulling in the energy. So this is the Temple of Quetzalcoatl. You can see the plumed serpent. These would spout water. Then the initiates would dive in the water, go under the pyramid. So we're going to have an epic transformation here. Remember, Quetzal, it was a bird. Okay, really beautiful bird with all these colored plumes. So that's the plumed part. And coral means snake, and it makes it literally a feathered snake. And there are all of the legends in this area we're going to at many of the temples of a person, a leader that took on that, and the two now are blended together. The idea of the bringer of civilization. So we're going to be able to tune into all of that. And this cult, I don't really call it, but the following was present in all of these different civilizations. Mexica, the Maya, the Teotihuacan, the Toltec, the Olmecs, all of them did that. This is some of the texts that we've had going from between our people, just talking about this was off the charts and dreams we had and all kinds of amazing experiences. This is the kind of thing, soul family, that I want to invite you with. Here's Margan. She's been to 2 of them. And just going to quickly move through here so you can start. Here's Christian. And you can see Quetzalcoatl, the snake around his neck. We're going to be doing a ceremony for that transformation. This is what he does. He leads these ceremonies. He brings forth his ancestry with the Aztecs and his wisdom with the other cultures in the Maya. And he's from Tecamac, a town very, very close to Teotihuacan. And like I said, his brother is going to be our charioteer, our van driver. His father is going to be giving us wisdom. He is going to be going with us many places and performing ceremonies. So you will really enjoy. I'm very, very honored. We're going to eat all kinds of fabulous food. That's the fun thing, is we're going to have our party the last night in his town at his father's favorite cantina. That's where our final party is. So here we are feasting down, having some gourmet food. So the place of the 6-dimensional energies is the place where you're going to become. It's not something you have to become. It's something for you to remember. So today, I want you to begin right now by saying, I'm ready and willing, and I'm open and receptive to remember who I am, to remember that I am a creator, that I am from source, that I am divine energy, that everything comes from the same energy. There's no way I can't be. So just, this is, there's the snakes. You see the spouts with the plumed serpent all on here. You can really feel the energy. This place is already working with me in dreams. So the other day we had a shift and moved the dates. It's actually the first dates I had, and then my mind took over. But I had dreams all night long that were taking me here and weaving in and out, in and out. Here is a picture that a friend of mine took a few weeks back, and you can see the pillar of light coming out of the top. So this is a computer generation of what it may have looked like. These were all painted. They were also highly decorated. They used a lot of obsidian and other stones. So my guess is it was probably more colorful than this, but it was indeed red. And here's another depiction of Chel. You can see again, she has the womb water, the rabbits, fertility, abundance, creation. She's got her breasts showing as a way of showing that she's here to feed, to nourish, that this is a blessed, nourished mother goddess type of experience. You've got, of course, our snake, who's always our path of awakening us, all within the beautiful crescent moon. So wonderful. So I'm just going to take a moment because the dates have changed and fix this. It's 18 to 24 now. And go to the website. That's true. What I recommend that you do now, oh, that's another thing we changed. So we had people contacting us yesterday saying, I didn't realize, just read I just read the email, and we had our super early bird price until tomorrow. We've just extended it 10 more days, so you have time to talk to me, time to feel into it, and time to allow yourself to really align with it. Now, I want to again invite you, when you feel called to these things, it's not something that you decide based on what you know. Most people come and decide at the last minute, and they know they're meant to come, and they rearrange everything in their lives. They're like, oh my God, I have to rearrange my work and my kids and this and that, but I have to be there. I want you to think about it now and start now. You can be connected. You can have all this time to make a payment plan. You can have my help in manifesting it. So now is the time. Excuse me for 1 second. I need to cough. Ooh, thank you. That was a good one. Okay. So these are the Atlantean figures at Tula. And when I knew we were coming here, I focused on Teotihuacan. I went to breakfast with Christian. He suddenly started telling me about his ideas for this, and it all began to come together again a month and a half or so ago. I went online and started to look up the places that he suggested because he'd been there, he knows the area. And I came across Tula, and I about came right out of my skin. This is where we're going to probably be at equinox. This is my guess just because of this. So we added this site because I saw it. I said, this has to happen. And this is the first dream that I had was me here. So these are the Atlantean. They actually are called Atlanteans. Now, some of the stupid stuff that you hear, because a lot of the stuff that the guides tell you or Google or Wikipedia or history about these places is pure crap. And the governments, most of these countries, don't want you to know the truth. They don't want the spiritual, energetic secrets revealed because it doesn't support their current agenda. But it's too late because they're waking up. And when we go here, we are the secret police that are going in, and we're awakening these. You bring your key codes, you awaken it, it gives you back key codes. We open up the doors for the world. So you can see here, they say, oh, it means an atlas. Atlantean means atlas, like Atlas holding up the world they were holding up. Well, the fact is that they weren't holding anything up. Somebody moved them and put them up here. They were actually down in front of the temple, and you walked through them and past them as the guardians to even enter this temple and to walk up the pyramid. Now, this was a common thing. They had the butterfly on the chest. This is why we're going to do the metamorphosis of the heart. This is the butterfly that's then repeated on the forehead in the other places we're going. So we're going to have the metamorphosis of the heart. And the cool thing is we also, like I told you, have the sun spiral on the back. When I first began to look and saw this place, I didn't get an answer actually from Christian right away. He was busy doing something. And you can see the symbols and the carvings. This is the other thing. We began to activate these at the last retreat. Everywhere we went was filled with carvings and symbols and masks. We awakened this light language within us, and we began to understand what it meant. You can see the feathers. You can see that these are like the top of some of these pillars and these beings. The dream I had, I was literally floating, for lack of a better word, right next to one of these, like next to its head, like side by side, looking out like they are. When I asked Christian, what do you think of this place? I think we're meant to be there. He said yes. And he said, the key at this site is to listen. And so the dream went on, but it was silent. And I was there floating, looking out through their eyes across the landscape, silent, feeling the energies. And the energy in your heart when you can maintain silence is profound. The connection then, you see the feathers on the top. Now this is called a Toltec headdress, the circular feathers. And we've seen these in Egypt. So these people visited each other. They knew each other. Their pyramids communicated to each other. So some of our activations have been to literally open portals between the pyramid in Mujil, for example, that we went to a year ago, and Egypt. And that turned out to be then a portal to all other pyramids. They communicated. They traveled. We are very ignorant about understanding. They traded. These sites, even these sites in the center of Mexico, not just the ones on the coast, which you might think, oh, okay, a boat maybe came. They have stones, feathers, shells that they know where they came from other countries, came from other continents. And so the awakening straight up of this idea of your pillar of light almost coming out of these is going to be profound and activated. Let these just come to you now. So this is a picture of Tula. They're on the top of this pyramid at this time. This is our recent one where we went into the jungle, literally, and had a Mayan shaman ceremony. This is the kind of things that we do. This is also Tula, is the house of Quetzalcoatl again. Although the most famous Atlantean figures are Tula, the Olmecs were the first to use them on a relief, and they called them all kinds of them have that. So another place we're going to, and with Chel, is going to be with us at a lot of these activations. Why? Because she's also the goddess of water and creation. This is a meteor called Lagunas del Chichica. And I don't know whether we'll be able to get in the water, but we are going to go here and activate our crystals. We're going to do an activation when we go to Cantona, Puebla, and we're going to have Chel there with us. Look at how gorgeous, pristine, and pure. So here we're going to have the cosmic energies of the meteor. We're going to have the portal energies. Of course, this has created a portal, water energies, and the energies of the land. As you can tell, the land is very different from where we've been going. This is another place we're going to go. It was called one of the first botanical gardens. It was a poet, priest, king, artist who literally created aqueducts and ran water from far away, built hot tubs on the top of this hill, and covered it in botanical gardens. And it's quite famous. You'll see these. We're going to be here at dawn. Oops. Another place we're going to go here is, sorry about these duplicates. I don't know why they're here. Okay, it feels like we're going in a loop. There we go. This is, again, our group at the last meditation. You can see in the distance the Temple of the Moon or Temple of the Magician. That's the Sacred Feminine University in the female pyramid. And here we are in front of the Temple of the Sun as I was doing the activation here. So we get to do our activations right on site. That's the Pyramid of the Moon at night. Here's another place we're going to be going. This is gives me very particular sort of energy when I see these pictures. Here we are at the top of Koba. This Schwingo is the one place we're going to stay in Teotihuacan. So you're going to be at a hotel right there in Teo, in the town. You're going to have the energies of the pyramids right there next to you all the time. You're going to be able to walk into town for dinner. And then we're going to spend one night. And if you sign up in April, I will pay for your double occupancy room at Schwingo, because you can keep your hotel room in Teotihuacan, but we're going to spend one night here so that we can be up at dawn in a very sacred place that Christian wants us to be for a sunrise activation. Now, the opportunity to be in these sacred places is beautiful, but remember, it's way beyond being with nature, having your own meditation. These are powerful energy vortexes. They built these not because there was water nearby. They built these based on the energy of the land. And this site has all kinds of these petroglyphs and carvings. So this is John climbing the Great Pyramid at the last retreat, where we did the activation of the matrix, manifesting matrix, and then went and did the Mayan ceremony, and the day that Kukulkan returned to Chichen Itza. So that's, I think we've done that. That's good. So that gives you an idea of what we're doing here. Let's fix this one again for you. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you, we're going to tune into the pictures again of the Teotihuacan specifically today, because what we want to do is take our full moon journey now to the place of the sixth dimension. So what is 3 dimensions? Well, we live in 3 dimensions. Physically, we are able to have depth, width, and height. 2 dimensions would be a picture on your wall, right? It has width and height, but it has no depth. So each dimension has a particular level of awareness, level of experience. So right now, as we're getting ready to tune in to the place of the 6th dimension, I want you to think about your 3-dimensional awareness, the framework that you have within your mind and heart to live the life you have. What do you believe about your 3-dimensional life? What do you believe? Do you believe you are the creator of your reality? Do you believe that you have created this life? Are you unhappy with it? Are you happy with it? Are you happy with some of it? Not happy with others? Are you embarrassed, afraid, ashamed of some of the things you have done or haven't done or have or don't have? And how do you believe that what you really want in your heart will manifest? Do you believe it takes hard work, a lot of time, sacrifice, obligation, stress? I've helped people with their businesses. I used to have a business school, coached people very deeply on building businesses while doing the inner work as well, of course, for many years. Still occasionally. I'm taking on 2 clients for May and June, 60 days to manifest one big goal and break through your big block. And I'm only taking 2 people because they're going to go deep. What I'm telling you is that what I've seen over years of being a hypnotherapist and a shamanic journeyer and an energy worker who can see energies, of helping people to build their business, helping people to break free of their beliefs around their worthiness and their ability to manifest wealth or their deservedness of money, abundance, or happiness, is that what you believe is true for you, what you believe is true for how you could create the reality you want or the world that you want, is limiting you. It is limiting what's possible for you, because so much more is possible, but you have to let go of what you believe is how things manifest. Last week, I slammed my finger, and in the normal world, I would have been headed to the hospital. In my world, as a master healer, as a traveler between dimensions of time and space, as a believer that I know I create my reality and I know I choose my reality, I immediately began to do certain techniques to back up in time, to predict what the future will be, and to determine and reinforce, no matter what was physically happening. I had to master those parts of my mind that said, oh, what if it's broken? What if it hurts for 2 weeks? What if you can't do this? Watching it turn blue and black and a huge mark and all this stuff happening. You have to stop looking at the reality that you grew up with and start looking through the eyes of what you want the reality to be. What do you want your reality to be? Get out of the third dimension. Well, when I do this, this happens. Oh, I got wet and ran in the rain. I'm going to get a cold. Oh, every time I do that, I get cold. Why would you want that belief? Years ago, I programmed myself to say I never get sick. And do I break my arm? Yes. Do I do other stuff like that? Yes. But do I get sick? No, I don't catch stuff. It's ridiculous. Oh, my kids are all sick, so of course I'll get sick. Why would you want that belief in your head? Oh, wow, everybody's getting carjacking. I'm terrified I'm going to get carjacked. I used to work near this lady, and she was full of every fear that came up on the news. She would carry it around and talk about it. I looked at her one day and I said, why do you want to create that? I'm not creating it, but I'm being aware. As long as I'm aware. I said, no. If you are focused on being attacked, you're going to eventually be attacked. Maybe it's just yourself attacking you, which you're doing already because you're attacking your belief and your positivity, and you're limiting and ruining your chances for a empowering experience. You're the only one in your head. Get the other people out. What else do you believe about the third dimension? What do you believe about work? What do you believe about money? Do you believe to be a responsible person? Do you believe that before you go on a retreat like this, you have to have your savings and your debt paid off, and you have to have this done, and your boss has to be happy, and your kids have to be okay, and your spouse has to be okay with it, and everybody has to put a stamp of approval on your spiritual path? Are you fucking kidding me? Now, I'm not trying to be mean to you. Please don't get upset. I want to wake you up. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. If you feel called to something, open your heart to say, wow, I feel called to this. I don't know how. I don't know why, but I'm going to open a path to it. How could that be possible? And then don't try to make it happen by forcing it and working hard. Don't try to convince other people it's okay. Instead, use your own personal solar sun in your willpower center of your solar plexus in your belly to keep your mind open. We're going to rise you up, but I want you to anchor in. Where are you? What else do you believe about the dimension you live in? Do you believe you're a good person or a bad person because you've made money or lost money? I mean, I certainly carried a lot of guilt that I was a horrible person for a long time because I lost everything in my divorce. Lots of people in my family were happy to continually remind me, this is all your fault. Everybody's in pain and everything's falling apart and everybody's lost everything you've built because you want it out. And I was willing to take that and carry it with me. What are you carrying with you? What are you carrying around that somebody gave you like that you decided to say, yes, I deserve to be punished. I deserve to be limited. I deserve to not freely express my joy and happiness, even if it pisses everybody off. The purpose isn't to piss people off, but the purpose is to let go. How do you get to the sixth dimension, the eighth dimension, beyond? How do you rise up from guilt or fear or anger or grief to willingness, acceptance, compassion, joy, abundance? You have to free your mind, and your energy will follow. What else do you believe? Take a moment now before we begin to go deep. Get comfortable, turn off your notifications, shut the door, lay down, and go deeper. What other fears are you carrying? What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What will they think? What ifs, limits? I sent a picture to a friend of mine in Playa del Carmen, where I've been living, of the pool in this little house that I'm staying at, where I worked all day yesterday. It looked very glamorous. There I am with a pool. The lady brought me this pineapple drink mixed with ice and stuff, and it looked like, oh, so exotic. And she said, oh, I see you're roughing it as usual. And I smiled. I thought, what an interesting comment, because now I don't let that make me feel bad about what I have, because this was $36 a night. You see, I don't wait for the money, and I don't wait for the approval, and I don't wait till all the ducks are lined up. I listen to the call, and then I seek until I find the right frequency, and then the magical doors open up. The fact that she struggles daily, that she has a certain lifestyle, is a reflection of what she believes is true and possible for her within this dimension. That's not to make her a bad person or to feel like I'm better. There's no superiority here. I'm actually standing up here with my hand down to you. I want to lift you up. Trust me. I really am the fairy godmother. I can help you. What else do you have like that? Well, of course that happens. Well, that's always true. Well, I never get what I want. Oh, look at that person. I'm sure there's people who see my pictures on Facebook that think I'm a multimillionaire. Well, I'm not anymore. I have been a couple different times. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. And I've survived through all of it. And that is what gave me financial freedom, because financial freedom isn't money in the bank. Money in the bank could disappear tomorrow. Somebody could take it. The bank could shut down. I have a client who 10, 13 years ago had $300,000, $400,000 in their bank account. The bank took it. The bank took it. And they still have it. And they've been paying lawyers for 13 years to get it back. The stock market could crash. Your job could close. Your spouse could leave. What would happen then? These aren't things that we typically want to look at. But if you want to free yourself from third dimensional thinking and enter the place of abundance, of light, of love, of possibility. Just like when you go to the top of a mountain, you have a different perspective. You have a wider view. You can see farther. You can see. The same thing with your frequency, raising yourself out of these lower frequencies. Teotihuacan, the plumed serpent in the Mayan world, is depicted as a serpent winding back and forth, but standing straight up at the mouth open, and a Mayan man emerging from the mouth. This means this is the path to enlightenment. Raise your frequency, shed the old, let go of the old you, of the old image, of what defined you, of what confined you. What does a snake do? It sheds its skin so it can expand to the next level. It leaves everything it grew and everything it knew to become something new, and then reach where it regrows the plumes, right? Reach the higher self, reach the higher dimensions, and emerge enlightened. This is the path that you are on, believe it or not. One more dive down as you get comfortable and ready to go on this journey. Go deeper than your belly and deeper than your heart. Go down into your sacral. Go down below your belly button into your danchen, your place of power and position, your place of sexuality, creativity, deep secrets, immense power, and the portal to your root. Why is that important? Because the trees last night were again showing me we are rooted to our physical beingness. We're rooted to the earth. We're trusting to be present and stand and never move. Are you rooted? Do you expect to manifest? Do you ask to manifest in the physical world and then get frustrated that you don't, yet you're not willing to be fully present in your body, rooted to the earth, to let the goddess of earth, the mother of manifestation and physicality, to be a part of your reality? Go down into your secret sacral chamber and walk into the darkest corner. Bring the full moon with you and stand there right now. Standing in your sacral center in the darkest corner, bringing Chel and the moon, illumination, and nurturing love, unconditional love, which accelerates healing and raises your frequency. What do you see and feel here? What is the heaviest, darkest attachment energetically? You might not know what it is. You might know it instantly. It might appear as an object or a color ball or a feeling in your body. What we do now is we call on the powers of Teotihuacan and all of the ancient civilizations, the priests and priestesses of the sacred Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl, the path of enlightenment back to reclaiming our crown of feathers, our crown of connection, and our awakened third eye. We ask to bring the light here and to detach now and free us from this deepest and darkest, heaviest energy that we carry, so that we may rise above, just like a hot air balloon. You have to throw the weights over so you can rise gently and beautifully up, up, up. Now from this place within you, from this place deep in your sacred space, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Egyptians, the Druids, the peoples all around the world were gifted the knowledge and wisdom from Atlantis. And we all know the sacral bone, the sacred bone, this sacred space within us is a temple. It is a temple of the moon. It holds the moon. You don't have to physically have a womb to hold the waters of creation within your being. And the 8 original cells at the base of your spine hold the secrets to who you are, the blueprint of your soul, the codes from which your body was built, the wisdom that came from source, that knows that you're one, that knows that you're a multidimensional being. Now feel this moon. Draw down the moon deeper, deeper, deeper into your sacral center. And sit comfortably where you are, and sit comfortably in your sacral chakra. Nestle down in your sit bones, in your pelvic bones. Connect to your tail. Connect to that light antenna that you own, whether you have a tail or not. Physically, you have a tail. It's an energy tail. Now I want you to invite in all 3 aspects of Chel, the maiden, mother, and crone, the creator, the destroyer, the bringer of enlightenment, the weaver of worlds, the abundant fertility of the crescent moon, the abundant nurturing of the full moon, the rainbow and the waters that bring life in form and bring life from source into form. We call on you, Chel, beautiful goddess of Cozumel and Isla Mujeres, guardian of creation, abundance and fertility. Awaken within us this knowing that we are the weaver of our worlds, that we carry within us the waters of creation, that we have the ability to form abundance and to bloom and open that beautiful lotus, to awaken our eyes, our inner eye, the Trinity that we are, and the heart of our soul and our purpose. Welcome, Chel. Now welcome her to come into your womb, inside of this glowing, illuminated moon. Now I want you to begin with your eyes still open and your awareness nestled in your sacral chakra. the moon all around you, nurturing you, the waters of creation, purifying you. Chel in all three forms, standing around you, forming a pyramid of light. To breathe in these images and the energies of the sixth dimension from this place. Feel yourself attuning to the place where men become gods, the place where you remember your connection to all that is. Breathe this in. Breathe in the sky, all of the elementals. We call on the directions, north, south, east, and west, above, below, and within. We call on all of the elementals, Quetzalcoatl, Chel. We call on our own higher selves, the I Am Presence, and our own guides of transformation and metamorphosis to illuminate and enlighten in this full moon the truth from within. Who am I? Why am I here? How do I free myself and rise up from third dimension fear, grief, guilt, pain, craving, shame, past, uncertainty, up, up, up to the sixth dimension, the place of joy, abundance, and bliss. All right, one more image. I want you to breathe in the initiation temple of Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent, our guide. Chel is an amazing goddess and guide because she holds the energy of the moon and the rabbit, the dragonfly, to move between the illusions. And she always has the serpent on her head. So we bring with us on our journey Quetzalcoatl and ask for our third eye and crown to be opened and awakened to our hearts, that we may free ourselves to become the butterfly, the beauty, the full expression of our inner wisdom, and live our fully funded mission here at this time. Relax, breathe in, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and feel the breath coming in and going down through your throat and your heart and your belly into your womb. Feel that air coming down and lightening this place where you're sitting with the moon, with Chel around you. Take another deep, slow breath in through your nose. Down deeper and deeper. Feel it going down into this chamber, surrounding you with light, clarity, vision. One more deep breath in. Feel yourself beginning to become enlightened, lighter and lighter, like air. Expand. Now relax. Relax and allow all of your awareness to sit gently inside your sacral center, inside this full moon. Feel yourself surrounded by light. Chel, the moon goddess of abundance, of creation, of healing and wholeness, of the awakened eye, always with the awakened eye. Feel her standing, the triple goddess, on three sides of you, the waters of creation pouring to you and over you. Feel the soft fur of the rabbit nuzzling and in your lap, nourishing you, feeding you like the divine and revered rabbit does for so many beings on this planet. Receive this nourishment and this symbol of abundance within you. Receive the ability to reproduce abundantly your most loving, powerful, and divine thoughts, ideas, and inspirations. Feel and see the dragonflies beginning to fly around your crown, forming an exquisite crown, moving, opening a portal above you to the higher dimensions. Around and around the dragonflies go, opening this portal. They are the beautiful beings of Maya, illusion, flying between the worlds with ease and grace, reflecting the beauty, light, and color, the ability to flit from one dimension to another, the ability to realize you are the divine creator. Declare now in your heart, I am that I am. I am the divine creator of my reality, of this reality, of this new world. I am that I am. I am light. I see with light. I emanate light. I glow with light. I own my light. I am lighter and lighter and lighter. Feel yourself becoming very, very light. Very, very expanded. I am divine vision. I allow Quetzalcoatl to open my inner eye, to shed the old. I feel it gently peeling away, falling around me like saggy old clothes that no longer fit me. I feel all of the heaviness weaving away from me. I feel Chel weaving the light, weaving the grid, weaving the world, now weaving away from me and taking from me all of my beliefs, all of my fears that I hold within my body, my cells, my mind, my emotion, and my light body, weaving the guilt, the shame, the fear, the grief, weaving the anger, the regret, weaving the apathy, weaving up, up, up. As she weaves, you see that she's taking from you with her spindle each of these fears that hold you into the third dimension, that hold you into the past, that hold you into the conditioned mind. You feel the illumination of the moon pouring the waters of creation, purifying over and over. Weaving, weaving, she begins to take from within your very womb, your space of creation. She takes away all of the energies and you feel lighter and lighter. You begin to feel her begin the weaving of the new path, the butterflies of metamorphosis now appear around you, and they spiral more and more butterflies around you until you are in a cocoon of light woven by Chel, the moon light, and the sacred guardians of metamorphosis. You feel this cocoon allowing you to let go, rising up, letting all of these beautiful energies, Quetzalcoatl, shedding the old skin, Chel weaving the new path, the moonlight, the butterflies, the dragonflies. You now feel yourself melting, dissolving into light. There is all of the darker, lower energies simply draining away as you feel pouring into you more light and you expand your capacity to receive it. I am an abundant creator of my reality, and I am that I am EA, Escher EA. You feel the dragonflies speeding up above your crown. You feel an opening, a pillar of light, opening. And you feel the light pouring down. You are becoming lighter, beginning to float like the hot air balloons. You see and feel yourself beginning to rise gently, lighter and lighter, up out of your crown. You see and feel now within your heart Teotihuacan, the pyramid of the sun, the moon, the initiation pyramid of Quetzalcoatl, the alien portal to the sixth dimension. You feel the doors opening. You feel your enlightened energy and your metamorphosis happening faster and faster. You transform into liquid light. And now you know and declare, I am light. Up, lighter and lighter. You float up in this bubble of the full moon with the Chel and all of these divine beings, the elementals around you. Your beautiful cocoon of light goes up out of your crown into your soul star. Your higher self gets on board, lighter and lighter, higher and higher. You enter your soul blueprint. The soul star opens into the stellar gateway, and the moon and you rise up gently, floating just like that hot air balloon. Up, up. You relax and let go deeper, effortlessly, surrounded with pure light. You realize it's all emanating from you. Teotihuacan, Teotihuacan, the place where you remember you are God, Goddess, Creator, Destructor, Originator, Divine. You feel now yourself floating, and you realize you're in an exquisite, magnetic, powerful beam of light. You look down with your inner eye and realize that you are floating above the pyramid, in the beam of light coming from the capstone, coming from below the chamber, the sacred chamber below the pyramid of the moon is emanating symbols and patterns and light and color, and they're floating up out of the pyramid, around you, through you, past you. You look up with your inner eye and you see them going out, up, way up, almost to the moon. You see all the other beams of light from all the other pyramids around the planet, vortexes of energy, initiation chambers, enlightenment chambers, power generators to keep our consciousness high, meeting in a grid. You see the connection around the world. You are now connected to the above, to the below, to the wisdom of Atlantis, of all those who have visited the earth, this site, that have left their wisdom encoded in stone, have left their wisdom encoded in the land. All of Gaia, Chel, the stars, the elementals. You are flowing now like the water pouring from Chel's womb jar, flowing as pure liquid, pure creation. You can emerge as any form you like. You can create the world and your life in any way. Now floating in this beam of light, receiving the light from this place, you feel rising out of the third, passing through the astral field of the fourth, letting go of any attachment. You move into the fifth dimension. Feel now. Protected, relaxed, open, unattached to all that was. You feel the peace of this place. In the fifth dimension, there is a door to the sixth, a door that requires you to reveal. What is it that you must reveal to yourself, to this illumination of the moon, to the nurturing love of unconditional goddess energy, to the power of the God energy coming from the earth and the pyramids? You feel and see all the ancestors out across this vast dimension. You see them standing, watching, connecting, sending you love and light. You see it pouring into your heart, and you realize you are being fed with the most powerful light, nourished. Receive it, ingest it, let it begin to create. What is it you must reveal to enter the sixth dimension? Let it come up within you now. You see it come forward. What does it look like? Floating in your cocoon of light, you see. Now you must declare this revelation, this truth. I free it, I accept it, I release it, I become harmonious with it. I let go of everything that won't allow me to vibrate at this frequency. And I'm ready to reveal to my own self and to all of my ancestors, to all of the guardians of light, to all of those that have come before us and built this beautiful structure, to all of those that are here waiting, watching, helping, supporting us to create the golden age, to create divinity in form. As this revelation unfolds inside your cocoon of light, you feel a strength in your heart and a desire to break free, just like the butterfly fighting out, ready and willing to become something new, to emerge into a world unknown, uncertain of your capabilities, of your reality, yet ready. You feel all of these energies opening, lighter and lighter. Your wings, your feathers, you've shed the skin. It's time for you now. Break free of this cocoon and burst into the sixth dimension. 3, you're getting ready. You're letting go. You're prepared. Uncertainty is not a stopper. There isn't anything that can't be found. You're called from your heart. You feel it pulling you magnetically forward. 2, I'm ready and willing and open and receptive to become, to be, to know the truth of who I am here to be, to rise to the sixth dimension and reveal my true self. 3, 2, 1. Burst free from this cocoon of light and rise into the sixth dimension. See all around you these exquisite pyramids and light and love of color, shining and glistening with crystals and obsidian, gold and light. See all of the beings in the white robes walking, and see this grand promenade in front of you, aligned with gold, feathers, fanfare. Feel and see the singing, the light, the love, as everything here welcomes you home. Welcome home. Begin your procession, walking down this pathway towards the pyramid of the sun. You are the moon. You have embodied the light, the transformative qualities of Quetzalcoatl. You have embodied the ability to move through illusions like the dragonflies. You have embodied the butterfly, knowing that letting go of your old form isn't the end, it is the beginning. As you walk, you feel and see this new you, this light you, this you that has reclaimed your feathers, your plumes, your awakened eye, your God self. All around you. The fanfare, the music, the light. It's beautiful, it's celebrating, it's joyful, it's welcoming, it's nourishing. You've never felt such love and acceptance. You shine brighter and brighter as you walk towards the pyramid of the sun. You see the sun shining behind it, and you feel yourself as the moon. You realize that you bring the light of creation, of nurturing, of womb, and you are bringing it, the moon, to the sun. As you bring the moon to the sun, you realize the two together, married, blended, loving, are the two dualities and polarities of creation, and are your powers to create the world you want to live in, to create the world you get to be love, be who you were designed to be. As you get closer and closer and closer to the pyramid of the sun, you begin to feel your solar plexus lighting up with your own central sun, magnetically pulsing, calling you to the pyramid. The pyramid is shining with gold and red, crystals and obsidian, reflecting light in every direction, a grid of light all around it. You merge now into that grid. You feel the above and the below, the masculine, the feminine, the spiritual, the physical, all of the duality blending into one. I am the above, I am the below. I am the creator, I am the destroyer. I am that I am, and I am now ready to rise into the sun, embodying the light of the moon. You feel yourself floating up, 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 up to the very tip of the pyramid of the sun, standing in the beam of light coming from it. The sun now merges, enfolding you, the moon, Chel, all of your life and your creation, the light within now in this golden globe of light. And you understand the sixth dimension, the place where divine creation, source energy becomes manifest into the physical, surrounded with the pulse of gold, love, light, heat, heat that creates life. Take a moment inside of this beautiful place to embody the Creator. Play with these two energies, all of the elementals, every direction, all of the ancestors, your highest self, your fully funded mission, your true blueprint, the light of the moon, the energy of feminine, divine, sacred creation, the energy of masculine, gold creation. These are all here in your workshop. The abundance of the rabbit, the illusion and the metamorphosis of the dragonfly, the butterfly, and the power of Quetzalcoatl. You are the creator of worlds. What is the world you are going to create? And who is it you came here to be? Enjoy your journey until I bring you back. Feel Chel now gently weaving whatever you think, whatever you choose. You are in the sixth dimension. You are in the place where men, women, humans in form remember that you are the creator. What is it now that you wish to create next? And let her weave it for you. Feel now all of this light of the sun and gold, all of this light of the silver moon, blending within your antenna of light around your spine. As this cocoon of light, this new creation and your connection to the place of the sixth dimension comes together, you begin to feel your thoughts, your dreams, these energies taking form. And gently, 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 you feel yourself beginning to come down inside of the sphere of the sun, into the temple of the sun, down beneath it. And you feel the sun grounding you to the earth and gifting you with the light of creation, power, choice. You now feel the moon and Chel, and the butterflies and the dragonflies bringing you up. And you begin to move back down the promenade from the pyramid of the sun back towards the pyramid of the moon. You are floating, and as you move towards the moon, you feel yourself coming gently and slowly back down from the sixth into the fifth, into the fourth. As you enter the temple of the moon, you feel yourself moving into the sacred chamber beneath. And here Chel and the moon gift you back with your power of feminine energy and creation. All of these guides, light, and beings begin to slowly move away from you, bowing, honoring you, and thanking you. Feel yourself slowly bringing this new light, this new you, and this new understanding of who you are and how to create this divine reality we are in right now. Down into your body. Feel as if Chel is pouring you back through your crown chakra, through your third eye and your throat into your heart. Your transformed heart fills your chest cavity with a whole new light, knowing, power, and frequency. You now allow this new light of who you are to overflow from your heart down into your solar plexus and into your sacral, gathering up the codes of who you are. You now declare, I am that I am, and I am the creator of my reality, and I now know it. I've reclaimed my palette, my powers, and my wisdom, my connection to the place of creation, the sixth dimension. I've recreated within me a new power. And that power now says, I can be what I came here to be. There is nothing that can stop me. There is nothing that will not yield if I tune to it. What is this new world you are going to create? What is the light you are willing to weave? What is the path of gold and silver that you will weave? What is the reality you will focus on? What are the thoughts, patterns, beliefs that you will nurture within your body, mind, emotion, and soul? Who will you be? What is the light that you intend to spread? See yourself now walking in your life as this new being, walking in this life, bringing this sixth dimension. See how certain realities will not resonate with it anymore. Thank them and lovingly let them fall away. See how completely new doors will open and new horizons are appearing and manifesting around you. What will happen today? What will you see that's new? How will you feel that's free? What will you decide that is unequivocal? What within you will lead the gold and the silver path weaving before you like two snakes, weaving the path of creation that you can let go and receive and give and receive and let fall apart and deconstruct and rebuild and recreate. Feel Kukulkan Quetzalcoatl, the beautiful plumed serpent, on your head and in your forehead. Feel the butterfly in your chest. Feel the dragonflies around you, weaving the illusion that you desire to live in, weaving the world with you. And feel Chel in all three forms. Supporting you with light, love, abundance, healing, wisdom. I am that I am, and I am truly the creator of my reality. The reality I create now comes directly from my heart, from the light, from knowing that both sides are equally good and equally powerful. That what I create with the masculine and the feminine, what I create with the physical and the spiritual, what I create with the wisdom of the past and the uncertainty of the future is within me. I choose love. I choose light. I choose to be light body. And so it is. I am that I am. Ie, Escher Ie. I walk with light and love in every step, breath, touch, look, thought. I embody the new world of love and light. I allow the old world of polarities to fall away. Take those polarities within me and weave the pathway, the stairway, the pillar of light back to the sixth dimensional place. I carry Teo with me. I carry the moon, the sun, and the power. I am that I am. I am the creator of my reality. I am infinite. I am flow. I am love, light, and light body. And so it is. Put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath in. Feel the difference of your heart chakra and your energy field. Feel the tingling and pulsing. Feel the channels and meridians. Feel the colors. Feel the freedom of your mind. Feel the awakening. Feel the connection of all of your energy centers and the centeredness of you. You have a new strength. You have accessed more of your true wisdom. Declare now, yes, I have been to the place where men remember they are source, creators, and gods and goddesses. And I am one of those pillars of light now. Walk with it, talk with it, see it, feel it, give it. Feel it in your fingertips, feel it pulsing through your heart and up your throat, into your eyes, your brain, your crown. Feel it going down your legs and your arms to your toes. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Raise your hands above your head. Be the illumination. No matter where you go, there is no dark enough to dampen your light. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I now bow before you, along with all of the realms, the gods, goddesses, elementals, all the nature spirits, all the animal spirits, all the ancestors, and all the beings in every dimension, all the way down to Gaia and out to the moon and past, in every dimension back to source. We now bow to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It means the world, literally, to us, that you have chosen to reclaim your light, to own your power, to remember you are divine. There is no circumstance, situation. There is no money, job, person, relationship, place that can hold you or contain you. Stop believing it. Raise your vibration up, out of any dense situation. Remember, go to this place. Rise up. Enlighten. Go back up into the beam of light. Go back out to the place where all knowledge and wisdom connects. Weave your light. Gift it to those around you, whether they appreciate it or understand it or not. Simply leave the light and the love everywhere you go. And thank you. We give great thanks to Chel, to the full moon, to this beautiful moment in time, to this opening and awakening of humanity to come back to remembering we are to the true metamorphosis of the heart. We give great thanks to the dragonfly and the butterfly, to all of the elementals, to the sacred place, Teotihuacan, revered by so many over so much time. We welcome this energy within us to spread around the world so that we all remember we are divine. We all remember there is no limitation, there is no lack. We all remember. Carry this with you and spread it everywhere. We give great thanks to the energies of Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, Thoth, Enoch, Atlantean, Priest King, and all those ancestors. The crystal kingdom that has held this wisdom all this time for this moment of awakening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take your time to come back into the moment and into your body. Take time before you go into your world, before you rush back into the place that you've come from. Take time, please. It is the moment that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. There really isn't any time to wait. Reach out to me. Reach out to whomever you feel called to. Let your heart and awakened eye, let the path of enlightenment that has been built for you back to oneness and unity guide you. Whenever you feel the fear calling to you to make a decision from desperation, stop, because all that you create from fear and desperation and guilt will carry that energy with it. Purify yourself and remember, it's time. It's time for you. I invite you again to join me on the next equinox in September for the metamorphosis of the awakened heart, where we will go to Teo above with the balloons, below under the pyramid with our Aztec family of great history, the president of the indigenous elders, Christian, our amazing Aztec ceremonial leader, Tula, the Atlantean guides, and all these other sites and sacred places. 18th to the 24th of September, the super early bird 5-month payment plan, all of that is available until the end of the month. Don't let anything stop you. This isn't a sales pitch. This is a call to your heart. I know. I watch people. I watch people be called and then wait. I watch people be called and then go into fear. I watch people be called and say, I can't because of my job. I can't because of my kids. I can't because of this. I can't because of that. Do you know how sad it is to watch the spirit of your essence call you and you not believe that it has a way for that to happen? It's time for you to release what you think you should be listening to. Let it go. The doors will open, the miracles will happen, the magic, the money, whatever it is that needs to show up, it shows up. Listen to your heart. Enjoy the full moon. Breathe this energy all day and spread it everywhere you go. This is Nan Akasha. Thank you so much for joining me and being a contributor to this journey, to the light, and to this moment on the planet. I am so honored to be doing what I do, to know the people that I know, to have people like you joining me virtually or in person. Everything you do makes a difference. Never think that you can't. You co-created this world and you chose to be here to create it anew. Let that wisdom within you come forward and have a beautiful and blessed day. Namaste. In Lakach, Alakin, I am another you. You are another me. We are one. Together, we weave the new world. Let's make it one of beauty, light, abundance, kindness, gentleness, fun, peace, bliss, creativity, and even more. You have the ideas within you nobody else could think of. Let them come forward. Namaste.